Hi, my name is Sergio Mesa. Welcome to Easy ENG for You, Easy English for You. In today's video, we're going to learn about the second conditional or the present unreal conditional. Stay tuned. Last week, we were talking about the first conditional. And the idea is to continue with a series of videos to explain the conditional sentences. In this video today, we're learning about the second conditional, which is also called present unreal conditional. Now, something that you have to remember about conditional sentences is that they consist of two sentences, okay? The first one, starting with if, is called the if clause. And the other sentence is called the result clause, the one beginning with, for example, I would, blah, 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 blah. All right? Now, the reason it has two sentences is good for you. If you're planning to take the IELTS or the TOEFL exam, by using conditional sentences, you are using complex sentences, and that is going to increase your score on your writing task. So, stay here because you're going to learn about this conditional sentence. Okay. This example right here on the board, if I were taller, I would play basketball. This is an example of a second conditional sentence. But as I usually tell my students, it's not good if you don't know what the second conditional is for. So, and this is when we talk about the function. When do we use the second conditional? We're going to use the second conditional when we are talking about what we call in English imaginary situations. So if I say, for example, if I were taller, the meaning in real life is that you're short and you're not tall. That's the difference. So if you say, if I were taller, I would play basketball. Sorry, pal, you're not tall, you're short. Okay? So you are talking about something that is imaginary for you. Okay? So we're going to use the second conditional to talk about imaginary situations. Therefore, the name, present unreal conditional. Okay? Now, let's take a look at this structure right here. What happens with the two sentences in the second conditional? The if clause has to be in the past simple in English. The result clause has to be with would and a verb in the base form. We call it base form. It's a form of the verbs in English when the verb doesn't have the to. In this case, for example, it's incorrect, grammatically incorrect in English to say I would to play. You say I would play. When you are not using the to play, it's base form, okay? We're not using the to. All right. Let's take a look at other examples that I have here on the board. For example, this one. If I owned a car, I drive to work. What is my reality? My reality is that I don't have a car, but I imagine if I had one, well, I would drive to work. Very nice, okay? And another example could be, for example, if I had money, which I don't have, okay? But I'm talking about something that could possibly happen. If I had the money. If I had money, I would go, for example, to Australia. What's my reality? Well, empty pockets, penniless, I don't have money. Can I go to Australia? The answer is no. All right? Okay, here a question. What would you do if you won the lottery? What would you do? Very simple. Start with the result clause and you say I would, and then you can use the verb that you want to express that imaginary situation that is the result of winning the lottery. Okay? As you can see, the second conditional sentence is very simple in English. It takes to remember, number one, that it has two sentences, the if clause and the result clause. That the if clause is going to be in the simple past and the result clause is going to be with would and the verb in the base form. And that we use it only in imaginary situations. One thing that you need to take into consideration when you're using the second conditional is this. There is an exception, okay? If I say, for example, here in my example, you see that I didn't write if I was, I said if I were. And you must be wondering, why? Why can't I say was? All right. Is not considered grammatically correct. And you must be wondering, hold on a second, Sergio, because I've seen it in movies. My friends from the United States, they speak like that. Okay, in conversations, it's often used. If you are taking or about to take an international exam, please don't use was. Instead, you're going to use if I were. Even for third person of the singular, he or she, you have to say the same. Let's say, for example, that here is not I. I'm going to say, for example, Martin, our cameraman. Hey, Martin. Let's say Martin is short, okay? Martin can say, if I were taller, because he's shorter than me. So Martin says, if I were taller, I would play basketball, and he would be rich, and he would be my best friend. That's right, Martin? Okay. You see, it's very simple. I hope that you have learned a lot in so little time, okay? Don't forget to activate the notifications and to subscribe to the channel, Easy ENG for you, for more. In our next video, I will be explaining the third conditional sentence. See you in a week.